Okay. Hey, besties. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Aphrodite, and this is Aphrodite's house. I almost forgot my intro. Okay, let's talk for a second. I had COVID. I got COVID. It was horrible, but I'm good. What's the craziest thing to me about the whole thing is my whole family got COVID, including my son. He was only sick for like 2 days. So I'm trying to figure out how he managed to only be sick for 2 days, and I was sick for 10. And I'm still like coughing up stuff, so that's fun. Yeah, but today's video is going to be a little bit different, a little bit of a different sort of chat. I wanted to talk about my weird sort of connection with the Freemasons, and possibly yours too. This is just something that I've noticed. So yeah, it's going to be like a weird sort of story time that branches out into things that I've noticed. So yeah. So a while ago, before I was like really established in the studies that I'm interested in now, I had these really weird kind of experiences with like people who are in the Freemasons. So like I would go somewhere and there would be like 4 or 5 of them in the same spot, and then I would leave, and like randomly the car in front of me would have like a Freemasons thing on the license plate, and then I would go down the street and there would be like a church or like a like a gathering place. There's specifically a couple where they use them for like performance dance halls or something, and then it would just be really weird because I like couldn't escape that. Like it was so I start talking to some friends of mine and kind of, what do you think? When you see this many signs, it usually means something, like looking into it or what. I was like, do you think this is more of a like, hey, you need to be looking into more occult knowledge thing, or what? And then they were giving their opinions on like just being extra cautious about looking into different types of occult knowledge and the paths that you take and things of that nature. And it's naturally okay to be curious, especially if you're getting all these signs, but you need to be really, protective, and make sure that you know what you're doing spiritually so that you're not a target or going down the wrong path. And so I just remember one day sitting down and calling my aunt. And I was like, I've been seeing all this Freemason stuff. I actually spoke to, my friends about it. And we've just been curious because I'm seeing, more and more stuff. And she was saying, oh, when I was about your age, I rang the bell. But women couldn't join the Masons. They had their own thing. And I thought it was interesting, so I kind of put a pin in that and spoke to my dad. And he was like, yeah, a good number of like the older generation in our family, on like this particular, he was telling me like which side. I was like, yeah, there's a couple Masons over there. And I was like, that's really interesting. So I go back to my aunt and I'm like, how did you feel? Like, what did you learn? Like, do you have books? Because I would really rather not, I just want the information. I'm one of those individuals who like sucks up knowledge. And so anytime I get to read a really good book and take some notes on the situation, I feel like I'm in a really like happy space. I just like learning. So she immediately was like, I threw out everything I had. I only got so far and then I left. And I was like, because when someone says that and then their whole life is about something else, you get really curious. So I'm like, what did you see that made you quit and throw out all your books? Because this isn't just, I'm no longer interested. This was, I threw out everything I had. And she was like, she politely said, why don't you ring the bell and find out? That was her nice way of saying, I'm not telling you shit. You're going to fuck around and find out. I'm not doing it. I'm not telling you shit. And I kind of respected her for it, but feared her at the same time, because it's like, what did you see? What did you see? And so now I'm like curious, right? But then I was led into my other studies, and I'm pretty happy where I'm at, because I'm working with Thoth, so I have a lot of the information that I thought would be interesting anyway, kind of finding its way to me so that I can process it and really understand things and break things down and kind of move at my own pace, and still continue to be on the side of progression and helping people grow, and teaching people in a safe space. And I'm so happy that that's the road that I chose. But I something that I've noticed within the community of people that I've met and that I'm continuing to meet is that a lot of them have family members, like random family members, who end up being Masons. And so I always, like, it's weird because when you get so high up in terms of spirituality and your own progression, you kind of feel like there's more eyes on you, and you don't want to be that conceited spiritualist who's like, they're watching me, everyone's watching me, like, but I feel like for the ones who have Masons in their family, that's probably actually really, really genuinely true. I feel like it was weird because I was thinking about it when I woke up earlier today, and I was like, why does this seem so familiar? Like the idea of having two or three or four good spiritualists in the family who do a lot of the uplifting, and then 2, 3, or 4 of them who are randomly in these secret societies, like these not technically secret societies, but you know what I mean, like you things you have to go through initiation for, different sides of the spectrum pretty much. And the download, or like the image that I saw was of Randall. Because I remember Randall from Recess. It's not funny. It's hilarious because it's so true. Like, that was literally what I was thinking in the first place. It's like the spiritualist in the family grows, and then the other person is like taking notes, and then goes back, Mrs. Finster to whoever is above them. Just, I've noticed this, and it's so weird because at some point or another, the same spiritualists tend to go, oh, well, at some point I thought about joining, or a person in my family tried to get me to join, and I was pulled in the other direction. And I'm like, wow, I went through the same thing. So I'm just curious as to how many other spiritualists out there who watch this video weirdly have that connection to the Freemasons, where it's like in the family, so like one of you is the generational curse breaker. You work to help educate people, to teach people, to uplift people, and you have someone on the complete opposite spectrum who's just doing the most, not really doing the most, but like I'm genuinely so curious about what you get when you join, besides knowledge, because a lot of people join for the knowledge, and then I think they only get so far, and they're like, I didn't get the knowledge I wanted, and I really didn't want to go up the ranks anymore, so I just left. That being said, I don't know much about the Masons because, one, my aunt wouldn't tell me. I told you, she's a very strong-willed Black woman. We come from a very long line of spiritual women, and I think for her, getting that knowledge was kind of like the same thing for me, just curiosity, wanting more of the occult knowledge, wanting to know how much outside information is not necessarily given to the public, but you can earn the right to read sacred knowledge and things like that are hidden away in libraries. And I think she saw something or read something. She was content with what she saw or what she read. I mean, she was like okay with it. But it bothered her soul so much that she just didn't want to continue. And that's perfectly fine. I respect her for that. And I respect her for not wanting to talk about her experiences, or maybe she took a vow of silence when she left. I'm not really sure how that works. When you reach a particular rank where you can just leave, where you can literally just leave, I don't know, because the only way that I know about most people getting out of the Masons is like death. But again, that's just stuff that I've heard, so that's alleged. I don't know if that's factual. Yeah, but even when I like astral project or do any of this stuff, I don't see those libraries. Like, it's just not a place they allow me to go to. It's not even a place they want me to go to. And I've seen tons of libraries. I've seen my Akashic records. I've seen the halls and the libraries of planets. I actually didn't know that planets had books in libraries. But I went to this one library one time. It was really weird because you would think it was a masonry thing, but it wasn't. So I astral projected to this library with a checkerboard floor and tons of like pedestals, but like on the pedestals were planets, and they were like spinning, and then in front of the planet or whatever there's these giant books. But because it's a planet, the planet's huge, and the book is like the size of my body. Mind you, I'm like 4'11". I'm not even 5 foot, so the book is like the size of me sitting in front of the planet. And when you go through it, I guess it's like the planet's history, its creation, its rulers, deities associated with it, and so on and so forth. That was probably the most interesting library I've seen to date in terms of books. That's not even in terms of places that I've just been. I think I'm going to start a series of strange places I've astral projected to, because I've seen some things, man. I've seen some things. And one of the most terrifying things I've seen is actually giants. But not in a sense of like, oh my God, they're giants. And yeah, no, it was more like I'm teeny, tiny, and you're fucking huge. Please don't squish me. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna start a series just talking about that stuff. But yeah, so I'm curious to know, do you have some of those like weird little aunts and uncles who are like pretty far off, or like maybe even the older generation, so like 50s, 60s, 70s, who are Masons? Do you have books? Have you seen things? Are you a spiritualist? Are you dedicated to, what's your craft? What's your practice, if you feel comfortable saying so in the comment section? And how has it kind of shown you this weird link between you and them? Or was it just pure curiosity? Did you stumble across this and it just happened to answer some questions or create more questions? I'm not sure. But yeah, let me know, because I'm genuinely curious now. I know I'm not the only one who goes through this, because they say that when one particular person reaches a vibration, there's so many people on the same vibration, which is why a lot of us end up having the same ideas. Which is why they're like, yeah, ideas are divinely guided, but that's why they're divinely guided and you have to jump on them, because someone else is on the same frequency as you. They have the potential to get the same idea as you or go through the same experience as you. So I'm just curious, how many of you are on my level? How many of you are on the same vibration as me, or have reached that point in your path where the 2 and 2's add and the math is math and the dots are connected and you're like, oh shit, this is as real as it gets. But yeah, let me know. And that's what I've got for you today. I'm going to be posting more content more frequently, especially now since I have my mic. But I just had to get over COVID first. I'm not even going to get into how COVID affected me spiritually. That's a whole other video. But yeah, let me know. And I look forward to hearing from you. And also, leave in the comment section some comments on like videos you'd like to see more of or hear more of. Because I have the time. I can never narrow down one topic to speak about. I get so entranced by like a million things, and it becomes difficult to keep up with everything. So yeah, but I hope you have a great day or evening depending on where you are, and a great winter solstice, and happy holidays, and yeah, just spending time with your loved ones, and I hope everything goes great for you. That's all I've got. Bye.